So it looks like the day is finally here. The day the Xbox One got hacked, the original one. I guess it can be homebrewed or whatnot. I don't know. Point being, let's go ahead and check this out. Shouts to MBG. Let's hit play.
Well, the day has finally arrived. I never thought I would be making a video on this topic, but here it is. The Xbox One, after 12 years of being considered unhackable, has finally been
That's crazy.
exploited.
12 years. That's how long we've been rocking with it. I mean, we got it way back when. It's probably the first console we got with our actual dough.
Thanks to Marcus Castellan and his new Xbox
That looks
One
crazy.
Bliss hack. Now, we're going to talk about it more in today's episode and
The
what
Bliss
this
hack.
potentially could mean for the future of the Xbox One as far as things like opening it up for homebrew and preservation purposes. But I do first want to let you guys know that there is a really excellent security write-up that was done on the Reverse 2026.
Hold on. What does this have to do with anything?
And it outlines the entire step of the process that Marcus went from start to
Okay,
finish
okay.
to exploit the Xbox One.
Hey, shouts to
I will link
Marcus. Sounds
that
like
in the
Marcos.
description, but it does kind of explain his thought process and how he went about hacking the Xbox One. And I think
It's good. We might check that out later.
Xbox One to get exploited. It was considered unhackable or uncrackable for years, right? So in 2019, Tony Chen from Microsoft did a presentation on the security aspects of the Xbox One. And it was considered to be unpenetrable because they ended up
Interesting.
really kind of patching all the various weak points.
Yeah, remember when they got rid of dev mode and made it like invite only or whatever? So you had to go into the point being when they made the emulators, they took them off.
They found on the Xbox 360 and made the system extremely secure. But I do strongly believe that another reason why the Xbox One took so long to be exploited is because of developer mode or dev mode. Now, dev mode is a sandbox that you can pay a subscription to get access to the features to develop your own software on. And this is something that I think took away a lot of the motivations to exploit the Xbox One, because you can
Pretty much just,
indeed
yeah,
build
there you
your own
go.
homebrew applications and emulators and various things. There's already a dev mode community out there building UWP apps that run on Xbox One and Xbox Series processors.
What, he got
And
Citra?
The dev mode really kind of took out some of the motivation, in my opinion, to exploit the Xbox One. And I think
We
the
got
Xbox
here
One really
Jazz
was a
Resurrection. These like games requires game files. It looks like it, yeah.
product
Requires
of its
game
time. When it
files. What?
released in 2013, it had a terrible launch. If you recall, Don Matrick was the head of Xbox at the time. It had the always online DRM policies. It also had just the TV approach. But the hardware itself was quite sophisticated, as Tony Chen outlined in his Xbox One presentation in 2019. And the big takeaway from that presentation was that the software can be patched at all times, but silicon cannot. And Tony Chen even noted in his presentation that the only mistake Microsoft could not recover from would be a bug in the boot ROM. But the boot ROM itself contained 0 bugs. So a software exploit in this caliber is considered impossible. The only way to proceed is to physically attack the boot ROM.
Is that what they
using
did?
a hardware attack. And that's exactly what
Interesting.
Marcus did with his Bliss exploit. Now, his approach to exploiting the Xbox One boot ROM was to use a hardware glitch. Now, in the days of the Xbox 360, the RGH hack, it was
Remember that?
something that you could basically run on any Xbox 360. You could glitch almost any Xbox 360 out there that had a reset pin, except for the later Winchester motherboards.
Oh
The
man,
return of Area 51.
Alienware. Let's get out of here.
Performance desktop yet.
It's too expensive right now.
But Microsoft was very clever
Shouts to Alienware, though,
secure
remember?
all these particular weak points on the Xbox One. For example, there is no reset pin found on the Xbox One. And the other important aspect of the Xbox 360 RGH was to slow down artificially the system clock to make the glitch. Now, Marcus's approach was to use a voltage glitch on the
Look at this guy
voltage
using
rail.
voltage
Basically
glitch.
a hardware attack that temporarily shorts the processor's power supply to ground for a very small amount of time, and this causes the processor to make some type of mistake or put it into some type of undetermined state, like skipping a security check without fully turning off or
There you go.
rebooting the system. Now, the end result of this Bliss exploit is complete supervisor execution and decryption. And this means that all this is irreversible on Xbox One hardware. Once you've performed this
What?
modification, There is no way.
Hey,
for
Microsoft better not drop another
after
update or
the fact.
something.
And according to the CyberSec Guru article, it executes before Microsoft performs any of its highly secure, irreversible cryptographic key transformations. It happens before any code revocation checks can occur. So once the boot ROM has been exploited, now we have the ability to dump the console's eFuses and all keys. It can
Whoa,
also
what is that? Look at
bootloaders
this.
Can be fully decrypted, which
Oh, the
means
binary.
in theory, potentially we could start talking about things like custom firmwares. But the overarching thing here is that with the boot ROM exploit, things like the hypervisor, the game OS, the system OS, all of these features underneath are fundamentally compromised. And the hack will allow for decryption, loading, patching, and execution of unsigned code, which means if you're someone that's in Homebrew, then you're starting to get interested in something like this, right? And because this is a physical hardware-based attack, it's impossible for Microsoft to patch via a
There you go.
firmware update. Now, of course, this is 2026, and the Xbox One is considered old and out-of-date hardware, so why do we even really care about something like this? Well, we have to talk about things like preservation, right? The Xbox One, because it was unhackable for so many years, does have Xbox One exclusive games that are tied to the hardware.
What?
Now we have the ability to preserve those games. We can rip those games from disk as well as the hard drive, and those games can finally be preserved. And preservation is a massive thing here when it comes to the Xbox One. But of course, there are other things you can do with an exploited Xbox One in this fashion. Motherboards
Whoa,
and
look at
corrupted
that.
NANDs can be previously restored. You can restore your Xbox One if it became a brick for whatever reason.
Interesting.
You
What?
can decouple the optical disk drive from the system, which means that you can start replacing the disk drives with other ones. You can also
This is big.
do various MMC replacements. You can also fully restore and reprogram corrupted NANDs. And this is very interesting. 2013 Xbox One. I'm talking about the
Hell
VCR
yeah.
models that
We got
released
that one.
early on. So the later Xbox One S, as well as the Xbox One X and the Xbox Series consoles are not exploitable. The only one at this point that is exploitable is the 2013
Well,
Xbox
shouts to our
One
baby.
VCR. Now, to install and execute a Bliss hack on your Xbox One, you only really need a few things. You need a Raspberry Pi Pico or a Teensy. It's only a 3 to 4 wire mod as well, but you also need a basic
Interesting.
MOSFET setup on the North Bridge, and you also have to remove some capacitors from beneath the board to allow the voltage to drop to
Interesting.
hit the processor cleanly. Now, these types of things obviously would probably shy away a lot of people from modding the
Yeah.
Xbox One. I do have an Xbox One VCR, and I am someone that is very interested in performing this
Reliably
modification.
within
But
a
I'm
30
probably going
minutes
to
of
sit
research
and wait a
environment,
little bit
proper
until
environment,
this
parameters,
process can be
successful
streamlined a
boost
bit.
rate drops.
Usually when it comes
Just
to these
take 3
types of
seconds.
exploits, when someone does release their exploit, there's always people in the community that come up with more interesting ways to exploit the system. So potentially...
Yeah, so you heard it first. It does take a while and a little tinkering, but it is possible now, so you might have to check that out. We can find a good guide. If you guys know anybody or know anything, feel free to reach out, shoot a link or something. Until then, we might have to check this out because we still be rocking with our OG Xbox, the VCR model. Can't go wrong there. But until then, peace.